Have you ever wondered where water goes after you flush, rinse your dishes, or shower? If you haven't, aren't you curious now? To answer that curiosity, we went to the Greater Sudbury Wastewater Treatment plant where we got to go deep into the science of wastewater treatment. We head underground to the screening station, which is our first step. We see pumps that move massive amounts of wastewater. And behind this door is where the magic of science happens. Behind those doors are the screens. They remove the larger material that does not belong in wastewater, such as flushable wipes. We call these waste rags that then get put in these big carts and get put into the landfills. Further along, we have another screening step, and this catches all the smaller material that didn't get caught in the first step. They are usually sanitary products like tampons. If they don't get filtered, they can create huge blockages later in the process, and that is where it happens. This bin was recently just emptied, but can be filled weekly with rags from this second step and grit, which brings us to our next step, the grit removal. So all the smaller solid components still present in the wastewater get removed into the selling area where all this more heavier materials get dropped out, such as rock and sand. There is a big flow of air there, and you can see that it works just like a lab centrifuge, only many times bigger and smellier. From there, the wastewater moves into aeration process, and I got to check that out. Air blowers add oxygen to the tanks to aerate the liquid, where beneficial bacteria eat and convert material. Now that the bacteria have done their job, the material can travel to large clarifiers where more settling happens and more scum and solids are removed. I got to see the process better with an empty tank. The scraper and skimmer rotate while the water would sit in these tanks. The skimmer will remove the remaining grease while the scraper scrubs the bottom sludge, directing it to the middle where it's collected. 95% of the sludge goes back to the aeration tank, while 5% is used as fertilizers or sent to waste. And then I got to see how wastewater is further disinfected. Check all this chlorine that is stored for this process. The wastewater flows through this sort of maze slowly while the chlorine acts and kills the germs. But chlorine in larger concentration can be toxic to plants and aquatic life. So before releasing this treated water back into the system, we need to remove the chlorine. We do this with a chemical called sodium bisulfite that neutralizes the chlorine. After that, the water can flow safely back to our system. Wow, can you imagine if all that water was sent back to the lakes without treatment? So a big thank you to the city for managing all that wastewater and keeping our ecosystem safe. We hope you remember all this hard work next time you're flushing. And remember, keep tampons and wipes out of the toilet.